But before we reveal them, we need to unravel a mystery that affects nearly every American over 51 that starts decades earlier, long before bone loss becomes noticeable. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Most adults believe bone weakness begins suddenly in their 60s or 70s. But new aging research suggests that the seeds of bone loss are planted far earlier. And the surprising part, your diet, not your age, is often the biggest clue you've been missing. The story actually begins in early adulthood. In your 20s and 30s, your bones reach their peak density. These are the decades where lifestyle decisions, calcium intake, vitamin D levels, exercise, stress, sleep quietly determine how strong your skeleton will remain decades later. Researchers at the National Institutes of Health found that nearly 50% of American adults fail to reach optimal peak bone mass simply because of missing nutrients in their early diet. But since the body feels strong at that age, most people never notice the damage beginning beneath the surface. Then something subtle starts happening in the 40s. It's slow, quiet, and almost invisible. The body begins losing bone at a rate of about 1% per year. You won't feel it, you won't see it. But American bone health surveys reveal that by age 49, nearly 1/3 of adults have already started experiencing measurable bone thinning even if they still feel perfectly healthy. Hormonal changes speed things up, nutrient absorption decreases, and inflammation rises. Yet most people mistake the earliest signs for normal aging: sore joints, stiffness, fatigue after a long walk. But these are early clues most ignore. After 50, the shift becomes more dramatic, but still quiet enough to slip past unnoticed. Women, especially, experience a steep drop in bone protective hormones like estrogen. Studies show that women can lose up to 20% of their bone density in the first 5 to 7 years after menopause. Men aren't immune either. Once testosterone begins declining, the bones weaken more quickly than most expect. But here's the twist: while supplements and medications are often recommended, researchers from Tufts University discovered that certain fruits and vegetables can trigger biochemical reactions in the body that strengthen bones faster than calcium supplements alone. This is where the breaking point appears: the moment when bone loss becomes visible. A fracture after a simple fall, a shrinking height, a slouched posture, or unexplained back pain. For millions of seniors, this moment arrives suddenly, even though the decline has been building for years. According to U.S. aging data, nearly 2 million Americans fracture a bone each year due to osteoporosis or bone thinning. But the consequences don't end there. The fallout affects everything: mobility, independence, money, mood. Medical bills climb. Daily life becomes restricted. A broken hip alone increases the risk of long-term disability dramatically. And all because of a slow decline that could have been softened or reversed with early nutritional intervention. Yet many seniors reach for the same old fixes. They rely on outdated advice: drink more milk, take calcium pills, avoid movement to protect the bones. But multiple studies now show that calcium alone does not rebuild bone, and avoiding movement actually accelerates bone loss. These fixes fail because they treat the symptoms, not the cause. Bones need minerals, antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds, and specific plant nutrients that activate bone-building cells. And this brings us to the surprising truth hidden in plain sight: certain fruits and vegetables can strengthen bones faster because they supply the exact compounds your body struggles to produce after 50. So let's reveal them slowly, deliberately, the way the science unfolded. Prunes, for example, contain polyphenols that activate osteoblasts, the cells responsible for building new bone. One study from Florida State University found that older women who ate prunes daily gained measurable bone density within months, something calcium pills alone rarely achieve. Leafy greens like kale and collards carry vitamin K2, magnesium, and calcium in forms the body absorbs more efficiently with age. Americans often underestimate this because these nutrients don't come from dairy, but your bones don't care about tradition. They care about absorption. Oranges and citrus fruits contain vitamin C, critical for collagen production, which forms the structural framework of your bones. Without strong collagen, minerals can't bond properly. Bananas and avocados bring potassium, which reduces the acid load that drains minerals from bones. Blueberries, rich in anthocyanins, lower inflammation that weakens bone tissue over time. Broccoli and Brussels sprouts help regulate hormones and provide compounds that support bone density in postmenopausal women. Sweet potatoes supply beta-carotene and magnesium, both essential for bone remodeling. Papaya and kiwi support digestion and nutrient absorption to things that decline sharply after 50 and directly affect bone strength. And dark cherries, they reduce uric acid and inflammation, to hidden bone killers no one talks about. All of this leads to one conclusion: fruits and vegetables are not just healthy foods, they are biochemical tools that restore what aging takes away. So what should you do today? First, add at least one bone-supporting fruit or vegetable to each meal. It doesn't need to be dramatic, it just needs to be consistent. Second, balance your nutrition by combining vitamin C, vitamin K, and magnesium-rich foods. These nutrients work together, not separately. Third, reduce foods that pull minerals from your bones: too much salt, processed sugars, and sodas. One clear warning: do not rely solely on calcium supplements.